Gloria Blizzard from By Blacks. So
Hi.
great both of you.
Oh, we're trying to get a sneak peek at your doggy.
Who's that?
Jazz.
Hi.
Jazz?
Jazz.
Oh, that's a good. My dog's name is Coltrane. That's a good
Coltrane. Jazz and Coltrane. That's fantastic. So beautiful work, both of you. I really enjoyed your film and both of your portrayals.
Thank you.
Tessa, we see repeated scenes of you running up and down the stairs and sitting in a chair. There's this real sense of claustrophobia and suppression and repression. How was it for you to go to work and experience the set and inhabit that emotional space, to live in there with Irene? And how were you able to elicit compassion but not pity?
Ooh. Whoa. Wow. Oh, wow. If I'm honest, I feel embarrassed to say that it was hard because I think of what people do. I feel incredibly lucky to do what I do for a living, and relative to the hard work that people do, it's like all self-imposed make-believe. Even the moments of pain are moments that you can get out of, right? Because it's in the space of imagination. It's the safest place to feel agony. And in that way, it's kind of a privilege. But it was hard. It was really uncomfortable. And yeah, I think if you, as an actor, you sort of bring yourself to something. You can't help but bring yourself to something. So this woman lives in a lot of perpetual fear and doubt, and I think we all can live there sometimes, and we lean on our friends and we lean on whatever resources we have to get us out of those spaces. And so to spend a long time like living inside of that was painful for me, and also so fun and beautiful, because I got to work with Ruth and make this thing that is Rebecca's dream and has been for over a decade. And we actually had so much fun on the set. The second part of your question, remind me, because that was so beautiful.
How were you able to elicit compassion
And not so pity? Yeah, that's interesting. You always hear this thing. I feel like people say in acting a lot, like an audience doesn't want to see you cry; they want to see you try to not cry. Right? We want to watch people overcome wallowing in emotion, because we know that that's actually the truer human experience. We feel pain, we cry in spite of ourselves. Our bodies do all sorts of things that we're not in control of. I think I felt a tremendous amount of compassion, honestly, because I think she is someone who lives in a lot of longing, repression of feeling, a lack of feeling agency. And I think there are many women I know in my life that have felt that way, feel that way. I think that's the experience for a lot of women. I think motherhood sometimes is a thankless job.
I have 1 minute left.
And
crazy.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, I don't know that I answered your question. I just felt compassion. I think it's a beautiful script, so that helped me feel it for her.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Ruth, it was wonderful watching Claire. She's beguiling and manipulative, and we watch Claire's suffering, but we love her anyway. So how were you able to land this delicate balance between of this character so clearly and precisely?
Yeah, I think it was, Tessa really, and the ensemble, because so much of Claire, she's not a very she doesn't spend a lot of time musing upon herself and her foibles and her flaws, and she's not self-censoring. That doesn't really enter into her vicinity of how she feels about herself. So a lot of her energy comes from her interaction with others. She's very much like a lighthouse. The gaze is very much out and around, and I think that's where I as Ruth as an actress was able to get my energy, because actually playing Claire is quite discombobulating, really, because she is a woman sort of slightly untethered, and sort of like she's got sort of like a pinball machine energy, and that can be quite destabilizing for a person.
Mhm.
And
And
I
those around her too.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's exactly, and it's so interesting to play with those kind of internal, external energies and how they might be interpreted differently on the outside, you know. So that's interesting to me, but it certainly felt like a very sort of excess energy kind of part. And I felt like my compass was sort of weird. I felt like, you know, when they say about compasses in the Bermuda circle, triangle, sorry, they're just going to go bonkers and haywire. I felt kind of I was a bit like that playing Claire, because she is sort of, she's disarming and she's disoriented for
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's
others,
nice.
and me included.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing. They're telling me to wrap up. I have so many more questions. Both of you, Black women of mixed heritage, this informed your roles, I'm certain. Tessa, quickly, Ruth, quickly, if you can.
identity, belonging,
Yeah.
being othered, having to, and this is not just for women of mixed heritage, the kind of your gaze upon yourself, you know, because you're kind of seeing through yourself through other people's lens, mostly for safety. You're always, you know, sort of, I think it becomes second nature, doesn't it, for people who are othered to have to sort of be ahead of the game, beat the game, to sort of interpret how we might be interpreted. That's not entirely fair, but it's survival, no?
Yes.
Part of the complex nature of existing as we do.
Yeah,
Do you have
I think
anything to
also
add,
unpacking privilege, our own privilege, having to interrogate that, because obviously we wouldn't pass necessarily now with a modern sensibility, but there are ways in which we have a certain amount of privilege, particularly in the context of Hollywood, because of our fair skin. So it's wrestling with that, you know, considering that, thinking about that. I think that was one thing that we felt strongly.
Amazing. Thank you so very much. They're saying, please wrap up. Wonderful to meet both of you.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful questions.
Thank you. Bye-bye.